making LPs just to print a check. Got a bag of pulls back just to make a flex. Bridge them with Spark Swap, cause that shit up next. Got my gang phone, you can call me through the chain. Call me through the chain. You wanna reach me, call me on the chain. Call me on the chain. I got a drop on daddy, feature going steady. Got my E-Hex and my ledger going crazy. Earning all this ink, every day I'm claiming daily. Trailer Park Boys and you know we going crazy. I'm gonna make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I'm gonna make it disappear like a ZKZX. Like a ZKZX. I'm gonna make it disappear like a ZKZX.
Hello and welcome to the Roaring Kitty PulseChain stream. How's it going, Sammy Chica, Hot Pro, and
hey,
how's it going? Mute.
You're on mute.
Hey.
Oh, I think we still can't hear you.
Mute. It's a magical mute now. I'm not sure why.
Now I'm blurry. Darn.
Yeah. Oh, if you put your head closer and then come back, no worries, Lindsay. So we're going to talk about Roaring Kitty today. Sammy, did you watch the stream last night? It was so late for us. I had to go to bed.
Did have a look. Apparently there was like 106,000 people waiting an hour.
Oh, it kept going up. It went up to, it was ticking so fast. Like I watched it, there was 70K and then I'm like 170K, then I'm like 250K. And then 500,000, and then it got to like past midnight, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go to sleep. And then I woke up, and I was watching the first part. Podpool, did you see it?
There we go. I had two audios going at once because I also had your stream, so I had to mute one.
Oh, I've done that
all
before.
Of that.
I've been on Circle Loop in my own little like infinite galaxy of like streaming before. Did you see the first part of the Roaring Kitty stream?
No, I didn't. Can you give me an update?
The intro was so cringeworthy. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to share with
I've
you
been
guys
busy the last couple days, so.
This intro is like, I just couldn't even. Wait a minute. Let me just show you guys the intro. Can you see it on your screen there?
Yeah.
Oh, watch this intro. Wait, I'll just go to the bit. He kept everyone waiting for a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, gosh.
DJ Paulie, how you going, mate? He said 650,000 when he tuned in at the start.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was crazy. Like that intro went for no joke. Like I think it was at least 3 or 4 minutes where he like dead and then he gets revived. And I was like, dude, this is not working. Like stop. And the chat's going absolutely nuts. Like the chat was just like, like you could not even read the chat. It was
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like crazy. The build up was crazy. So I've only watched the first like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. But he basically just wanted to say, like, guys, it's me that's on Twitter tweeting. Like, it's not some fake dude. And then every time he spoke, he's like, oh, the price just went down. Was that me? Am I allowed to say that? So the poor guy.
Am I allowed to say that?
Lindsay, how are you?
I'm good. And just in case he wants to know, there is a 27-page Microsoft document that has been released for marketing purposes. 27 pages.
Disclaimer.
5 of them are emojis and like or patterns of emojis that you can't use, like no rockets. You can't use like that little emoji with like that, like the money tongue, like those things.
Who's that from? From Roaring Kitty or from his lawyers to him?
That's for all. That's for
all streamers. Oh, stuff that. I use rockets all the time.
I do too. I mean, there's more leniency for us than there is. Like, there's more leniency because we kind of have the opportunity to say, well, gee, I don't know. Nobody told me. I don't work for a large corporation. I'm part of a decentralized, crypto community here.
I think
but for the centralized entities,
I work for the blockchain.
That's right.
Yeah.
The blockchain works for me.
Yep.
That's right, Lindsay. You're righter than I am. That's exactly what it is. A
Blockchain
DeFi.
babes. Blockchain babes. Oh, that could be a good name for this stream. I've been trying to
That is a really good
figure it out.
name.
Blockchain babes.
I like that.
So just a little bit more about Roaring Kitty and why we give a shit in crypto. So Roaring Kitty was a part of the famous short squeeze in 2021. So he took on the hedge funds who had shorted GameStop. And then Roaring Kitty and his Reddit army basically started buying up the stock, creating the short squeeze. Hedge funds had to buy back the stock higher to cover their positions, and the price went even higher. So the price of GameStop went from $17 to $347 in just a few weeks.
I remember that.
There's a video on Netflix, and his net worth is at least like 500 million. But if GameStop goes to, what is the price? If GameStop goes to a certain price, he becomes a billionaire.
What is it?
There's a certain price point where he becomes a billionaire, which is not far off. I think it's $60, and it's currently at 34, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, it's around 34. Well, it was last night. So if it goes to $60, I think he becomes a billionaire. So it's like a David and Goliath, rags to riches. And of course, now the authorities are after him because who wants a normal person getting rich, right?
Are you sure it's not 28?
$28, GameStop. Yeah, it's around that price.
Yeah.
And when he was streaming, it was like $32, but maybe it was a dip, sell the news kind of stream.
Andrew Tate also launched his new coin about 5-6 hours ago. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's his first coin he's launched. He's been tweeting it out. It's called RNT, and the name for it is Real N-word Tate.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
And at the moment, it's sitting at a $63 million market cap with $2.2 million liquidity, and it's about.
Are you sure it's not a scam? Because he's always said he would never release a coin. Like, I know last night he put in $1 million. Well, he said 11 million because it was
with that market cap. I don't mean that.
Have a look at his. Twitter. Have a look
at his page. Let's go through his Twitter.
How do you guys feel about this? These celebrities coming in now in this cycle.
Well, I mean, cool. We're not going to buy their token.
Oh, look, he's got this video.
A lot of heat for being very vocal about not buying Bruce's token. I was quite surprised. I got quite a few like, by the way, his name is Caitlin, and I was like, his name is Bruce.
Yeah,
this is his video about it.
Yeah, he's got heaps of them on there.
Oh crap!
It's definitely him.
Damn.
He burnt $11 million worth of crypto this morning that people sent him. And you should have seen some of the copies. They had like, when they come out on Solana, Andrew Tate's dog, and his brother retard Tristan. And
there was a I do watch these guys, but I watch them on mute because I love their facial expressions. I know that sounds silly, but they're so animated that I love to watch them on mute. And of course, I don't totally disagree with their views. I don't totally agree with their views, but they're good to look at. And there's this one, I won't lie, they're good to look at.
They are good to look at. If you go back and see,
if you watch them on mute, it's great. Like, look at him dancing here. But there is a clip I wanted to show you the actual content for you guys to comment on. This is like a social commentary, guys. I said to Doz, I was like, do I show this? He's like, sure, why not? It's cool to show stuff like this. Wow, he has tweeted so much in the last 24 hours. I could actually find the tweet I was looking for.
He's gonna bump
he did this he did this tweet about how women want warriors and not funny men.
Oh,
and it was really good. I just have to try.
I do agree with a lot of his stuff. I do agree, but it is very masculine content and is very much for males.
Oh, here it is. Okay, listen to this and see I want to see what you ladies think. Okay.
And it's getting hard out here. They want warlords. They know what's coming. They can smell it in the air. They know how difficult life is going to become. They know they can't compete in the job market. They know they're not going to go out there and work a 9 to 5 for 40 hours a week and be able to make enough money to support themselves. They know they need a rich man who is strong and powerful and who can fight. They are happy to share that man and join a harem if they're going to be protected and provided for. Your jokes and your personality is not going to be interesting enough for her to go work 40 hours a week and have a 9 to 5 when she can join the harem of a millionaire who basically ignores her and pays her rent. because she understands that working a job is bullshit. So when you sit there, Mr. fucking wagey, oh yeah, I earn $100,000 a year. Yeah, I'm doing all right for myself.
Babe, I've got tickets to the Arctic Monkeys concert coming up. If you're into it. But by the way, what kind of porn do you watch?
Don't worry. Yeah, you still have to work your job, but we'll work together as a family, and you work your job, and I'll work my job. But it's worth it for my personality. No, it's not. She'd rather have the millionaire's personality. Hi, the line's over there. Go join the line. Let me know what your rent is. Okay, love you. And she'll be more loyal to that guy than she'll ever be to your ass. Your personality, your jokes, your funny stories, your cute little fucking haircut are not worth her working 40 hours a week forever. So you're not even going to have a girlfriend.
Oh, you can say that about the government too, right? Like,
it was like, I found it like really interesting, like the content. Like, I don't completely agree. I don't completely disagree. I just found it was like super interesting, their take on it. And obviously, like, fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of men just aren't in their position to demand that women go to the back of the line. But what did you guys think of the content of what they were saying?
Oh,
I
I
think
think
he's
my
got a really
internet's
valid point.
Say again, Sammy?
I think he's got a really valid point, but
Women don't want to
like, but with a lot of women in the workforce, Class, for example, you a career woman and a family woman, and Lindsay and Hopper, I don't know what you do, but from our sort of standpoint, living in the Western world, it's not something that we would consider being part of a harem or something like that. But
I love the pronunciation. I didn't know that, or is it enunciation? I didn't know that it was harem. I think he pronounces it harem, and he would know, right? But because I thought it was haram.
I know the correct
And then, like one of the
pronunciation.
biggest takeaways, I was like, oh, that's how you pronounce it. Because you know how people used to joke that we were part of Richard's haram? Like there was that one tweet against like Hex and PulseChain women that were like, you're part of Richard's haram. And I was like, I wish. How much did that pay? Shit, I probably hope it would pay a lot. So what are you saying? You're saying
It'd
Sammy,
definitely be the most fun harem if we had to join one. Like,
yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah, but Sammy, so you're saying if we had the option to join a harem, then we would. Is that your take?
I think we would join Richard's harem, but
yeah, if we
I
had
don't
to join one.
I don't think in the Western world it's even thought of, like, I mean, we just don't think that way, right?
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest, like everyone has a price point and it just depends on what that price point is, right?
Depends on where in Utah you might be, but it depends.
I hate to say that, but that's the truth. Lindsay, what do you reckon?
I think it depends on what you expect out of your partner and what your partner's expectations are for you. And if you go into a marital situation and that person says, listen, if you're in agreement and like you have to look at your goals like 10 years out, 5 years out, like you have to, like, it's so weird to think about, but when you're dating somebody, you really have to look at, okay, what's your, not dating, like, I'm not talking about like first date, like, so what's your retirement plan? You want to ski or you want to go to the beach? Like that might be a little bit intense, but if, while you're dating and 3 months in, if he's talking about retiring and skiing in the Swiss Alps and you want to be on a beach with a drink in your hand, you're going to have very different goals and very different lifestyle choices throughout your marriage, which is just going to cause more strife, and it's really important to find somebody with the same mindset as you. If you both have a scarce mindset, then yeah, she's not gonna think you're very funny for very long, and she's gonna find somebody with a abundance mindset. And even if that man says to her like, yo, get to the back of the line, what's your rent? I can't tell you how many women that are my age or younger, single, that are either single moms because their partner just could not or would not pick up the slack. It was like having another child, and that was their common complaint. And then the other common complaint I hear is it's just easier. It's just so much easier to be by myself because I can take it. I do it all anyway. I take care of the kids, I take care of the house, and I got a job. Like, what do I need a bigger baby for? You know what I'm saying? So like
Exactly.
we're seeing so much of the divine hermaphrodite rise, which is very, very strange to me, very Aquarian energy. But it's very strange to me that we're seeing so much of this like neutral energy coming out, like end of societies or end of civilizations is what they say and they're driving towards, but like we're missing a lot of divine feminine and we're missing a lot of divine masculine because of the propagated media that is sent here to confuse us all. So if you're so confused about who you are, then golly, you're really easy to manipulate and you're even easier to control. So it's like, I don't know, there's a whole mouthful on that, but like,
no, I love that.
But like,
yeah,
Tate,
I mean, I think it's sorry, Lindsay, go ahead.
Oh, he's a trigger, man. He's a trigger. I see him and he triggers me. So I know that he's
I like
triggering
it that he
there.
triggers me. Like I had him muted at some point, but then I'm like, it's good if someone triggers you because there must be some partial truth to what they're saying. And then it's like, well, why am I getting triggered? And like that's kind of like, and I like to kind of explore that in my own head. Like with relationships, I think it's quite complex, right? Like I've always like, yes, in an ideal world, everyone would be rich and retired and be the traditional housewife because that would be pretty cool, right? You wouldn't have to go to work, or you could pursue some artistic career or whatever.
You got to make sure you have a guy.
In reality, like you need long-term goals and you need hardship. I feel like the hardship in the workplace is one of my foundation stones that actually shapes me. So to say that you want to be a stay-at-home mum, I do that as well, like part-time, but there's only so many times that you can do the dishes and look out the same window. Like I'm not
exactly
by the soul. And yes, you're looking after your children, you're teaching them the best you can, but you fall into a rhythm and you do repeated patterns and it's not as nourishing. It's not the same kind of hardships that you would have to go through in the workplace. So, I mean,
I agree. You need external stimulation. I mean, your children are beautiful, but you are setting the tone. You are setting the example. You and your partner are setting that example for the children. So there's very little room for personal growth in that situation because they are little mirrors of you. And so I shouldn't say little room for personal growth. There's massive room for personal growth in that situation, one-on-one. But like you said, there's not enough stimulation in there. Like
there's not enough hardship. There's a lot of hardship in the workplace, and it's not all about money. For me, it's about hardship that comes through different forms of hardship. Like, is it like cognitive hardship? Is it communication hardship? Is it that you feel you're being unjustly treated and there's politics that you have to navigate? Like, there's different forms of hardship that it just ends up being personality shaping, and you have, and then once you do the awful shift or whatever, then you have that release where you can then, feel like you have achieved something, or that you can, because you need the ups and downs in life, and maybe when you're at work you're not feeling up, but afterwards then certainly you're getting a little bit more up.
I think a lot of people are lonely too. Like they, you can have recursive thoughts when you're with yourself, or when you're with your kids, you kind of outrank them so much. You're teaching them everything so it is, in a sense, before they're at a large enough age, you're talking to yourself for them. So it's a little bit isolating, especially if there's not, older siblings or the dad's not around as much, which is usually the case, not always. But if people think they're okay alone, they will say, oh, I'm an introvert. I can take time alone, but you can't. Humans aren't really meant to be alone for that long, even if they are.
I agree.
The smarter you are, the more nuts you'll start going.
Yeah, you can't.
I think it's not about work as much as it is about social isolation. No,
I don't think it's healthy.
You may think we are sometimes, but it doesn't work.
I don't think it's healthy to live lonely. I think it's social behavior is part of life, and I think it affects your physical health as well and your mental health.
Yeah, we're not designed to be alone, and like I think gender roles are pretty like I don't like to set boxes or boundaries on myself, but yeah, you have different roles in the relationship, and that's natural. And maybe you both don't go into it being rich. Maybe you get rich together. That would be my ideal situation, because if one person was already rich and the other wasn't, there's going to be a fallout. Like if you're not matching on the level, there's a fallout. Like say for instance, I know people that where they would say in theory they want their wife to be the stay-at-home wife, which is perfect. Like that actually sounds like a dream. But then in reality, when it plays out, the resentment builds. And the reason is she's raising the kids, right? And she's getting lonely. she's doing the same thing day in and day out. She wants attention. She's not getting that hardship, so she's not getting that long-term goal fix. And he's out there getting those fixes, the ups and downs of work life, and having that fulfillment because he's providing for his wife and his family. But then when he comes home, she kind of wants a break as well from the kids. Like, I've got double on, so I have to close this up. So like when he comes home, she'd be thinking, okay, now it's your turn to help me look after the kids. But in his mind, he's like, well, that's what I'm paying you for. And then, and also, and she's thinking, I wish I had more of an allowance. I don't know how to ask for it because I'm not earning the money. And then he comes home after a hard day's work. He just wants dinner to relax. And she's thinking, oh, can you do this for the kids? And then he's like, what? Well, I just went out and I just earned all the money. And they're both feeling this, they're dissatisfied. So he comes home later and later, starts spending money out on the town, you know, and then things like this. And it's like, exactly. And then it's like this, and this comes from perhaps two people that have like quite a difference in starting incomes, if that kind of makes sense. So, I mean, in my ideal world, and it doesn't always happen like this, you would kind of start the same and then hopefully end up higher. That would be the ideal situation.
Another thing, dudes don't like it when you earn more money. Not all dudes can handle the woman earning more money than them. And
it's a common thing, and people always talk about it on social media the other way. But in my line of work, it's the other way. And all of my colleagues, we earn significantly more. And it is like, it takes like a masculine man to not have that be a problem, is the way I see it.
I agree. A real man, it shouldn't be an issue.
No, because it doesn't come down to a dollar value. Like, masculinity is much more complex than a dollar value, at least it is for me.
Well,
like, my husband broke his nose like twice.
He broke his nose?
He broke his nose twice in the last month because he's doing like MMA fighting. It's like, well, if that's not masculine, then like what is? Like, so I think like masculinity is complex, like femininity is complex. And I don't see that you can't really make like a predefined formula for it to work. It's just beautiful and complicated, right?
It depends a lot on your belief systems and what your idea of your roles in a relationship should be. Some come in with more feminine energy and they are better nurturers and better organizers around the house. And some women are more business oriented and more resource gathering oriented. Our roles have kind of flipped on that one, since women we're not all in like hanging out in a village raising our kids all day. Now we're like in a village, but we're not hanging out. We're just in the village, and then we jet off to the job, and then the kids go here. And like the nuclear unit is so split these days that it's hard to retrieve where these belief systems are coming from. Is that coming from something I learned from my parents? Is it something I learned from being with other people at school? So many outside, and then there's social media, TikTok, like peers, all these things that come filtering in. So it makes a big difference on the mindset that you guys have going into the relationship. Is it one of, we're both gonna have to struggle, and this is gonna be an uphill struggle. We're gonna make it, and we're gonna do this, or is it like, you and me, we got this, like, let's go. That partnership, it's depending, and it does take a very special relationship. It takes a very special amount of balance in someone to be able to celebrate, for a woman to be able to bring in more income than he is without feeling like he's less of a person or less of a provider because of a fiat value, which we all know is garbage anyway. So
exactly. We're going to bring it back to crypto, guys. So never fear, Phil, we're here for you, man. And right, hi Phil. To the chat. I saw DJ Pollywood in there. I saw Tintop in there. So what I'm going to do is show a clip, and then we're going to talk about PulseChain. And this clip features, instead of Roaring Kitty, a Richo. We're going to talk all about PulseChain, but first, message from Crypto King. We've got some news here about Roger Ver. Hashtag free Roger Ver. Boom. What up,
Yeah,
ladies?
he's out on bail.
He's out for now and he's in good spirits. Yeah, that was sad, man. Like they took him out of Spain. I don't know what kind of jail he was in. Like locked him up. Like the family man. I'm sure that wasn't necessary. So yeah, all the best to Roger Ver. He is a whale. That dude has some money. So
Yeah,
and like you know,
Bitcoin.
hats off, shout out, like full credit to him for he was in Bitcoin super early, and yeah, that's what happens when you hold and you're super early. Hey, guys, we're going to talk all about PulseChain. There's a couple of tweets like I want to show you guys. Like Richo tweeted, I saw this tweet this morning. Minimize that. Go ahead.
Sorry, I
Lindsay.
just saw Crypto King's next chat there. He said he was in the same jail as McAfee. That'd be a fly on
Are
that
you
wall.
serious? Oh my god.
yeah. Didn't you know that?
Oh
No, I
my
didn't know that, but
gosh.
holy flies
That's
on walls.
like that's scary. I don't wish that on
There's
anyone.
a portal to Antarctica there.
Jeez.
Oh, there's a portal to something there, all right.
Yeah, there's a portal. There's a back door in that.
Okay. Oh, Richard, how many tweets has it been? Where is it? That
Has it
tweet from
got-
this morning. Wait a minute. It can't be too far down. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. Can you guys see what I'm seeing? Have I shared it yet?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Let me share it and you guys can help me find which one it is. Some music, please.
That was a nice beat Richard was dancing to.
Oh, yeah. I must have gone down too far. How can you not find the tweet like when you want to find it?
Richard's good.
You know what I can do? I can find it another way by looking up. Oh, because I scrolled all the way down.
It's not. It doesn't seem like it's as long if you're just talking normal while you're scrolling.
Yeah.
And then you'll eventually find it, and then it won't be like a weird pause.
It's not awkward at all, except when you can't.
My internet sucks today. Sorry.
Harmful, blah blah blah. I'm gonna find this like in 2 seconds when I'm like not on stream. And in essence, what it was, let me look up Motley because it was Motley's reply that got me hooked on this tweet because I saw it from the reply first. I wonder if it was.
I like the
deleted.
music.
Oh gosh, I'm just gonna have to explain it. That's so annoying. I can't find it, but I will give up on that. So what Richo basically said was like, this is a very short version. I'm not speaking for Richard, but he basically said in the past, a lot of Hexicans were doing marketing. They were doing a lot of outreach, more of a community, and that may have been one of the reasons that the price went up. And then Motley hits back and he says, basically, yes, and the founder used to be very present and was doing a lot of live streams and including almost talking to Elon Musk. And yeah, we look forward to a time where the founder of the community can work more together. So he kind of hit back out a little bit. But apart from that tweet, there actually has been a change in sentiment in PulseChain in the last week because we got some green candles. So in the last week, we actually went up after going down for 10 weeks. And do you guys want to speculate, like, why now? Why are we going up after 10 weeks of down? What do you reckon?
An essential exchange listing will do that.
Yeah, so we got listed on MEXC. Let me hide that comment there. So there was a MEXC listening. That was pretty sweet. I'm not sure it had much to do with price. I just think it was like BTC kind of went on a bit of a rip. So I think that's probably why. And after going down for 10 weeks, there's a thing like after 10 weeks of going down, you should go up. Like any coin should go up.
I reckon it was a MEXC listing for sure.
You reckon it was MEXC?
Yeah. And the boys
It was only 20K.
No, but no, it has to be because that price hasn't moved in ages since the MEXC listing.
It was nice to see green candles, but overall, I've kind of told you guys before, like where I sit with my predictions, and a couple of people like Bruce and Somi have kind of echoed what I was saying, but they said it in a much more eloquent way. And I think I was basing my predictions on the wrong chart. I was basing it on the early ETH chart. But if you look at the early Hex chart, It did nothing for 12 to 18 months before going on the run after ETH peaked, because the sacrifice wallet basically rotated from the ETH gains into Hex, and there was quite a steep pump. And somebody's done this ripper tweet on my profile
I
that I
sent
want to
that
show
tweet
you.
into your DM as well with that Richard tweet.
Oh, thank God. Thanks, Sammy. I'll bring that up. That was like getting to me, that one. I was like, where the hell is it? Yeah, so I want to show you this tweet. Sorry, go ahead. Let me show you the Summy tweet. Here it is.
What comes better in life with Mentos fresh and
see it there. So yeah, so basically this is the Hex chart, right? And then he basically says in his tweet, the red arrow is where we currently are today. Hex went nowhere for another 11 months from today. He posted this not that long ago. And then when Richard sold the Ethereum top, he rotated the profits into Hex. Then yes, we did round trip after that. But if you look at the chart, this is what I've kind of been saying. Like I was getting annoyed maybe a month ago about false narratives, and this whole 52 weeks to shake out weak hands was pissing me off because I just knew that was just bullshit. Because if you look, no, the one that was everyone was saying before, I knew it was bullshit because look at this chart, right?
What isn't bullshit? All these narratives are just copium.
It is, but this is the one that I'm pretty solid on, which is why I'm still here and all my bags are packed for PulseChain. So, like, if we're here at the red dot, right, and we're going to go down a little bit and sideways for, 12 or 18 months, then once Ethereum topped here, then the sacrifice wallet rotated the gains from that into Hex, causing the 10,000x, right? So that's the whole bullish narrative of PulseChain at the moment. No expectations, but that sacrifice wallet has proved that it will move funds into PulseChain.
Yeah, exactly. And did you see, I don't know, someone was on the news, someone reckons that the Ethereum's going to hit like 22K.
Oh, really?
I mean, there has been all sorts of like numbers thrown out, but I have been hearing about the same ballpark, and that's not from like news, that's from like different sources throughout the interwebs.
Even half of that would be nice.
Helgo is in the Telegram. That's probably one of the reasons why Hex is bumping a little bit. He's an old school bottom indicator.
Oh,
it's kind of a joke,
really?
But not really. Oh yeah, Helgorian.
Hey, Hex,
he's a legend.
How you doing? So we got a message from McCarthy from the grave here, guys. Shout out to Paul McCarthy. Here we go.
Stop being a panic seller. I'm John McAfee, and I approve this message.
Yeah, you heard the man.
Is he even dead? He's not really dead, right?
No, he's not. I don't believe
not that I think
his wife
is
like, because like if you look at his wife, how she's going after, compensation and whatever, which is what you would do if you were pretending someone was dead. You can tell he's not. Like, and then they even alluded to that in the documentary, right? When she's sitting on the beach, and it's like they don't show him next to her, but it's like he's not dead. We know it.
Whacked. It's
like when people say, "Oh, I was drained." Most people are legitimately drained, but a few of them are like gigabrains that just had the boating accident kind of situation. So there's a few things. There's actually some bullish chicks coming on PulseChain. There's some new chicks, ladies. So we got Khaleesi. She's not new, but then it is exciting. But then we've also got this Alex. Have you guys seen Alex?
Yeah, I've seen Alex.
Alex is there. Let me show you a tweet from Alex. Whenever a new chick comes, everyone says she's not real. Guys, is Alex real or not real?
She's AI.
She's AI. Oh, everyone says that, and they're initially they don't want to stream initially because they're shy, and then everyone like, oh, they're definitely AI then, and then eventually they do stream, and then people are like, oh, they're not AI. That happened to Khaleesi. She had to prove she wasn't AI. So this is Alex's tweet. Alex has got some banger tweets. So she's referring to more functionality in PulseX farms, which is what is going to drive the price of the farms and Inc, PLSX, and so on and so forth in the ecosystem and draw outsiders in. And I believe Richard's probably timing some of these updates, right? So Richard's tweet alludes to more farms, more privacy stuff, and go.hex.com improvements, which would drive the price, according to Alex's tweet, of Inc up. What do you guys think about that?
That's 5 rockets. I'm bullish.
I mean,
I already follow her. I realized I already did follow her. Yeah,
I'm bullish anyway. But
That's
these
$1,000
chicks,
fine per rocket. That's a $5,000 fine for that tweet. Just for the rocket alone.
You're sued.
but
Consider yourself
really,
sued.
But
these
seriously
chicks,
though,
oh, she's awesome.
they come out and they go, "Oh, I've got something to tell about the Hex community, like this vid," and that Alex did it too. I'm going to bring down the Hex community. I've got some news on this person or that person. I've seen them do it, and it just makes me think they're all connected. I haven't seen that Kelsey do it, but it's kind of getting boring. Like if you got something to tell, come out with it. You know what I mean?
The lead up, the whole build up thing. Like I've got something I'm going to say, but then they don't say it.
Even people have been doing it, especially these chicks, and nothing ever comes of it. I don't understand. Have you ever heard of anything that's come out after these tweets? I haven't.
I reckon the PulseX thing is legit. Like I reckon Ritro's timing PulseX updates. So I bought PulseX because I just think PulseX is undervalued because he started off with heaps of farms, obviously fantastic APY, draw everyone in, and then everyone was using its exit liquidity. And then, I mean, the chart's going to do what the chart's going to do. At the moment, we're in Jeet land, and I think the shape of the chart, in my own opinion, would be going sideways for another 12 months. So it's almost like, why spend the money? Because you saw that the sacrifice money did spend some money, like they did a few test runs, right? And that money got gobbled up and just like people dumped on that like immediately, right? So it's like, well, why spend the money if at the moment in the timing of the cycle that people are going to do that? So, yeah, I think it's all about timing. But for me, PulseX is pretty undervalued right now.
Yeah.
I want to show you a
It'll
wallet
really
tweet.
start going when everything's starting to roll again, when there's more pulse action.
Oh, Sammy sent me.
Ink PulseX as well.
If I'm buying anything, it's ink, man. I'm so bullish on ink now, like more than any of it all.
Ink is an awesome
ultimate
for
utility,
PulseX.
you mean?
Yep. I mean, either or. For me, it's like same. PulseX, ink, like they're tied together. Volume of PulseX gets bigger, ink price goes up. So like, yeah, I could have chosen one or the other, right? Like that's should we talk about, before we talk about meme coins versus core coins, I want to bring up one last thing, and that's Richard alluding to a new wallet on PulseChain. Did you guys hear Coinbase is bringing out their own wallet? What do you guys think about that?
Well, they did. Or didn't they already
Already
tried
out,
it?
huh?
They have
I
one.
haven't tried it out.
They just launched a smart wallet, and so the smart wallet is like easy peasy KYC. Click of the button, there you go. It's terrible for any kind of long-term storage. It's really something that is specifically meant to be a very easy onboarding tool for billions of new users. So I how do you guys feel about all, well, I don't know, from what I know of, at least 4 projects that are not leaving Pulse, but that are also, well, actually one of them is leaving PulseChain. One that we sacrificed for here on PulseChain is leaving, and they're heading over to Finance, I think. And the other one's heading over to Base. So
I mean, the idea of the wallet, I think, is bullish for people in general in crypto. We obviously we've been in the decentralized game a lot longer. So for us,
anyone who didn't sacrifice has to find a way to get Pulse, and I think that the people often downplay how many steps that is for new users, and especially ones that don't have the trust in Richard Hart products that we do. Like, of course, this is going to be fine. Of course, this bridge is going to be fine. When even Richard Hart himself is tweeting all of these, don't use a false bridge. Don't use these things that are scams. When you search PulseChain on Google, please just go to X and look at my tweets only, right? Because it's constant people out there trying to prey upon the people who don't necessarily understand how these things work. And that is the downside of DeFi. And, you have to be honest about it, that it's harder to get people in. You got to watch out for yourself, but you're untouchable basically once you're there, which is worth it. It's worth it for me, but that is the challenge. So perhaps a wallet to get people more easily into something, because you still have the choice. As long as you have a choice, right? You can have a wallet, you could put something on a centralized exchange, or you could do your own thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it has to be easier. And so this is Richard's tweet. I've got a great idea, a wallet which stops you from being stupid. You have less choice. And because you have less choice, you will be resistant to fake dApps, fake voting, fake bridges, and sellable fake coins. like everything because a wallet stops you from being stupid in that way. So in other words, like when you onboard onto a PulseChain, like it's loaded up with the PulseChain core assets, and it's easy sort of click button solutions, which is what we're needing, and we are getting them. Like I know Ox Coast came back online, direct fiat into PulseChain. That's pretty sweet as.
I'm so bullish on the wallet. I want it to come to fruition. I think it'd be great.
I think it would be really
yeah.
good
I hope to see. I hope to see continued support for Internet Money wallet too, because they really coming out as the first PulseChain native wallet coming out. How many chains are they on and compatible with? Interoperability between chains is the future of crypto. That coupled with these users barely even knowing that they're using crypto, which we have already accessible at our fingertips now in this ecosystem. When we start talking about, if we talk about like other tokens, there is a bridge very easily right from Base right to PulseChain. And now with Coinbase's wallet, that'll just make it easier. Richard opening up a wallet, but limiting options is great for us in this ecosystem because he's already got our trust. He's already established that. But an outsider saying like, okay, you want me to open up a wallet? It has 10 choices and they're all yours. Okay, dude.
Watch a centralized exchange get interested once there is so much activity on this wallet too. It might make it more visible because I mean you have to look at it from their standpoint too. It's easy to say, oh, you guys are unfair. Of course this is good. Of course this is great, but it's still relatively new. It's still relatively like a kind of a closed in scenario, since a lot of people were here since Hex, a lot of people were sacrificers, right? But if you had a straight up wallet with large numbers, it'd be more visible on paper how many people are willing to go, from other cryptos to what I mean? Just stuff on the paper where they might think twice.
It would be
absolutely. If you open up that wall and everything is stacking in the million market cap, and you're not going to be scrolling very long. You're going to be set right there, feeling good where you are.
Yeah.
Much easier to onboard when it's really straightforward. Crypto Stylist is in the chat, guys.
Hey.
My mate Bill's in there. How you doing, Bill?
Right on.
Hex Monkey, I can see Bill's there. We got Hex Glenn, we got Katie, we got Chintop, we got DJ Pollywood. Thanks for being in the chat, guys. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is your opinion on. There seems to be within the community factions, where the meme coin faction, the core faction, and meme coins are better, and blah blah blah. Maxis versus meme coiners. Who wants to comment on that?
I'll do it. I'll go first. So I'm in a funny position where just because I don't have a meme coin doesn't mean I'm against it. I have supported some meme coins a lot and have either a small amount or don't get going heavy in it. The meme coins I prefer are, and again, like there are ones that I don't have that have these specifics, but the ones I like are secretly complicated. They usually pump a Richard Hart token, or they're kind of made to do so. I don't usually go for meme tokens. Don't usually go for tokens that are based on quick pumps or a celebrity or whatnot. And I don't feel bad when they pump. I don't feel bad when I don't get into it because depending on the person, it can border on gambling. And I have done things before where I've, put and rotated it back into the PulseChain. I have done that before. So I'm not saying that it's just totally degenerate behavior that you should never do and you're bad if you do it. I'm just saying have caution with these things. Read the white paper. Get in early enough. In the telegrams. Do the research. And if you really care about the product a lot, right? Like the token, the meme token. Think about do you really want to pump and dump it? Who's behind it? Are they, are you exit liquidity? Or are you going to help something? What's the reason behind it other than taking everyone's money faster than when you put in? Because I think of it as kind of more of a moral standpoint of what do you get out of it other than money? And I know that sounds funny.
No, I've had that problem before.
Mindset.
I
I could have made this money. The thing about these meme coins is like, I could have made more money, right? Like if I was in early. And then you go on Twitter and you see all of these people posting that you've been seeing for years, and it's like, what, money from their pockets?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's why the low liquidity meme coins for me are just rubbish, because you're dumping on basically community heads. Like if there's less than, say, 500,000 liquidity, you're probably just dumping on your friends' heads. And like, and that's the whole point of meme coins, is rapid rotation. So then it doesn't really work when it doesn't have liquidity or much liquidity.
Right.
There's only going to be a few people that are going to do well from it, and most people you're going to wreck. So in that case, like, I've steered away, because there's been so many opportunities when, like, I know the person or whatever and I've done well from it, and I just want to dump the shit out of it because I see the top of the chart and it's easy to pick. But then I'm like, I can't, because there's no liquidity, and it ends up being this frustration where I just hold this coin and then it dumps. And I'm like, ugh. And then I went through that about 10 times. And then I'm like, unless it's got 500,000 of liquidity, like, who really gives a shit?
Or you can take off of it, it just takes forever. Right, because you can't dump the price, or and if there's a farming opportunity, you can do that. You know what I mean? Depending
because a lot of the tops are becoming. You can get like good at it, but then at the same time, it's like it's such a rapid rotation that you would be dumping on community heads, and then I don't see. That's why I like outside meme coins, like, because the liquidity is a lot bigger. Like Mother Iggy, we did pretty well from that, and of course use it as pump and dump. And like Pepe is a more longer term on Ethereum for me, but I don't particularly like, generally speaking, meme coins on PulseChain, because the liquidity is not high enough for me to do what I want to do, which is just dump on it and rotate it.
It's weird because I want people to make projects on PulseChain, so it's like, all right, you want these to exist, but at the same time, you're trying to get people to not siphon all of the energy out of it, right?
Yeah, so then what people do, they just keep building on top of it. Oh, but this is then they just do this meme coin, that meme coin, and they just rapidly, the way they try to get away with it.
Look how many meme coins they've brought out. It's like nearly every week there's a new one. You just can't keep up with them all.
I mean, I would say they have, maybe medium amount of liquidity, Tengang, and they do well with their liquidity positions.
Yeah,
and I think they've actually been a success story when it comes to meme coins. They have been a success story, but there will come a time when the music stops and people will jeet that chart, and jeet all charts. But they have been super successful, and I think what it comes down to for them is this unique situation where Spooky is a benevolent whale, where he burns everything, and the profits he puts back into his coins, educates the community on liquidity providing and not jeeting the chart. But my concern would be the liquidities, liquidity, but also the dilutional effect, which hasn't really, I would say they're actually an exception, right? Because although they keep bringing out all of these meme coins, they haven't suffered from the dilutional effect of having multiple coins, because all of their charts actually look really good.
Aussie's Greatest even made a necklace of it, right? Of the Tengang.
Yeah, so I actually am a super fan of the Tengang. But I'm looking for, like, for me, just my own personal play, because it does require quite a lot of time and effort to keep up with liquidity positions across multiple meme coins. I see them as a success story and an exception, but I just don't have the time to be full immersed in it.
Atropa's got a lot more liquidity, doesn't it? The Atropa system.
I'm not really into that, if I'm honest. Like,
and they got
I am into the P copies. Like, P copy is pretty sweet. But it depends how much time you've got, right? Like, you have to pay attention a lot.
I would pay attention to Atropa. Just throwing that out there.
I do. It's not into it, but it's probably just because I can't be bothered. It's not a good reason. I like to just like buy it and be like, yeah, because for me, if I buy P dye, I kind of feel like it's all tied together in some way. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of the P copies.
Hey, Hexicans, what's up? She said, "What do we think about GIF?" I actually got some.
It burns Icasa, doesn't it? It's kind of an Icasa burner a little bit.
I know, but Bruce goes, "Get in. It's going to do really well." So that's the only reason I bought it.
I mean, the functionality of it's pretty cool, from what I understand of it.
Yeah, give me some of the utility. Give me something that's actually, moving the marker forward. I don't want another like crappy JPEG, and I don't want another pump it up situation.
I mean, I'll be honest with people. Like I was saying at the start, like I've simplified my approach. I want a meme coin with a fuck ton of liquidity on a community I don't feel bad about dumping on. So Pepe on Ethereum for me works. PulseChain meme coins, like the fact that it is a rapid turnover pump and dump situation, I just don't feel comfortable. A lot of the times the liquidity is not there. It's already rugged.
People are just fumbling their pulse away. You know what I mean? Like, okay, every day you have a higher percentage of the pool and pulse, and especially Hex. Like, I don't feel like I'm rugging people when they EES. I mean, of course, unless they're hacked or something. I'm not talking about that situation. But it's just like, screw it, this sucks. EES. Like, okay, when that goes up again, you know, you either say what you're going to do or not. You know, I'm not tricking anybody into ending their stakes. Like, they've chosen to do that. And so that energy goes back into the smaller pool on Ethereum and PulseChain. So whatever. I don't feel like a big scammer. You know, I mean, at some point when you make money in crypto, it's from other people, right?
Exactly. That's what they do in the stock market. Buy low, sell high. It's no different in crypto.
Yeah, except I don't know, like we kind of know each other in the PulseChain though. Like it's not different in the sense that there's charts and there's money and the smarter people usually end up on top, right? But it's also kind of like, you know, hey, how much money can I get out of these chumps? You know, just go down scroll and X. It's like, oh, I can't do that.
So apart from having to pay attention to it and like cheating on your friends and liquidity not being high enough, one of the other reasons,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the other reasons is what you brought up.
I can slowly take money.
Yeah, it's the fact that you're bleeding your own PulseChain bags away. Like,
true. I mean, you could just it's the easiest thing. It's hard because if you think a lot and you have FOMO and you see the meme coins, you're like, oh, you know, I really want to be a part of it. All you really have to do is just hold it, not do anything.
Yeah, if you're looking at Twitter thinking, oh, I should really get a part of that meme coin, then really know that you're just too late. Like you're not in.
If you're reading it, once it's in the green, and if you do, don't fumble the whole bag, right? Like I'm not against people doing with meme coins as much as it sounds like I am, but it's like don't feel such FOMO where you're like, oh, I'm gonna, you know.
It's all a game of meme coins are just a game of luck, you know. Even on Solana, it's just a game of luck. If you get in the right time, you know, you can earn some decent money, but a lot of those things are rugs. And a lot of them
game of luck and dodge that bullet.
It's so true. Solana and base chain are the worst, you know, for those rugs. And I've been rugged many times. But I mean, I've done all right on a couple of meme coins, but been rugged more times than done well, I have to say. But I don't put in a lot.
Well, I appreciate you being honest about that, because that's the reality of doing this stuff is you do win a lot and you do lose a lot, and it's not really a testament to someone's intelligence. It's just a probability issue, right? Like if you have a 1 in 5 probability of getting rugged in a meme coin, you know what I mean? Then it takes 5 different meme coins for you to get screwed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to have like a lot of liquidity for me, and you have to be in early. Like it hasn't, if it's already done its big run up and then it's down.
You almost have to find it in Telegram first. You almost have to kind of know the people doing it.
I don't see it. Yeah, the formula for me doesn't really work on PulseChain for meme coins. Like, I mean, Pepe on Ethereum, like that's a long-term meme coin that everyone will do. I feel pretty fucking well.
I love Pepe.
So,
if you were in that Telegram, you would have been sitting pretty.
Say again.
So if you were to say that, I was gonna say, how pro you go?
I was gonna say, you know, I like, if I were to pick the meme coin that I, you know, chain other than Doge, which is its own, you know, blockchain, but that's kind of on the wayside. I mean, Ethereum's pretty good for these meme coins because the liquidity's there. And people are, you know, Solana's a little harder to get to get into for total normies too. You know what I mean? So you can literally buy Ethereum on some of these cash apps. You know what I mean? So it's just a massive amount of liquidity. It's the second blockchain to Bitcoin, right? So that you're really playing more of a structured game. But I mean,
let's talk about PLS, the coin. So we've talked a lot about Roaring Kitty, about sort of PulseChain in general, maybe some of the updates that are coming to the farms, and also perhaps a wallet. The reason why I've brought my sort of streaming focus to outside communities is that I think people from outside communities need to get a feel for PulseChain and how it connects to them first before we really just hit them all the time with PulseChain stuff. But if we think about PulseChain, like, it has been a hard one to promote, obviously 10 weeks of down, and I think it's going sideways for 12 to 18 months. But the reason is because you have to have whenever you pick an asset, you have to have a time frame and you have to have a ratio. You have to be comparing it to something else, right? So at the moment, BTC, like, this cycle obviously has dominated the shit out of Ethereum. And Ethereum is only just perhaps maybe going to turn the corner on that and flip that ratio. But the idea is that it's the end of the cycle timeline that we should be, for me anyway, working towards. And so once Ethereum finally, is going up against BTC, then the whole idea is that eventually once Ethereum tops out, then PulseChain gets its time in the sun based on previous cycle. There's no guarantees in crypto. We know that. But Hex on Ethereum did a 10,000x because the sacrifice wallet rotated the gains from Ethereum top into Hex. So Ethereum topped, I think it was May, and then Hex topped in September. So it went BTC April, Ethereum May, and then Hex in September. And that was the first top, because it was a double top, right? But then in November, again, BTC and ETH topped. So that's what is a little bit confusing, is the double top, because it went April, May, September, BTC, ETH, Hex. But then we also had the November top. So you got to pick a side, right? You're going to think, is it going to be left or right translated cycle? I'm pushing for right. I think the November 10th is the date that both BTC and ETH topped the second top. So for me, the gains might not even come until late 2025, 2026, which is a scary game to play, right? It's right at the end. You got to wait.
Not if you're a hodler. Just hold. All you got to do.
Think about the time from now. If you look now and you have a plan for a DCA plan, which is like something that you just can't, but if you have a plan and you already set it up and you have like a set plan to go through, it makes it so much easier to ignore that there's red candles, because whether it was green or whether it was red, you were going to buy that Friday anyway, and you're going to put in X amount. And then in 12 to 18 months, no matter what coin you get to, it's about spending time in this market. And you'll look back at that accumulation phase, because a lot of that is retrospect, right? You're looking at these charts. Okay, so could you have called the top when that was happening? Would you have been like, okay, first it's gonna be Bitcoin, that's gonna be ETH, then it's gonna be Hex, and it's gonna happen this, and this way? We don't know. We don't know in retrospect. Like that's why we look at the technical analysis to kind of give us an idea of what is foreshadowing for the future. So knowing that the way that this liquidity is moving, I would be surprised if Richard, let me take that back. I would be surprised if that wallet waited to be moving funds around so late in the cycle, because of the amount of, I would say, like, timing is of the essence in this. And if this chart bleeds out for another 18 months, it's really going to be difficult to recover.
You mean in terms of people, like adoption, like people leaving kind of thing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, especially with the SEC case. I think that will happen, Lindsay, and I think he will put in the money late anyway, and there'll be less.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he'll wait until it looks like everybody's like, everything's going to trash, and then all of a sudden, boom, like a phoenix from the fire. I feel like that's kind of all over.
I think so. I think it's going to be pretty intense.
And by the way, Ethereum gas fees suck when Ethereum pumps too.
Yeah.
So that's the downside of Ethereum and the upside to PulseChain. So not only does it pump and we're bonded to it, but it's also functionally better when that happens.
Well, when we start to see more movement from Maker and more movement from that, where it's coming from a speculative to a like actual price, that we're not like in after we leave price discovery and we lose a lot of the speculation, that's when we'll really start to see excitement and the faith come back, right? Like those are the numbers are what bring the faith back. Unless you are part of the ecosystem where you're like, all right, well, I guess it's gonna be another 18 months. I guess that gives me some time to keep adding into my bags where you're in that comfort zone, you know?
Yeah, I think we'll be 18 months for sure.
Or do you think the case is going to play a role in price action, the SEC
Absolutely.
case?
Oh, yeah, I do. You know why I do is not necessarily the case itself, which probably will itself affect it, but what can happen with PulseX and the structure of all of this after it ends is like, you have more, I feel like there may be more permission to change, to get more things going when there isn't like the penalty of messing anything up, right? Yeah. So it's more of like a permission to continue it, including Richard's streaming, right? I don't think he's done for pulling back. I think people are just being impatient personally. Of course, I'm a long-term hodler. You know, of course I'm going to feel that way, but it's the case itself is one thing. How that's going to affect PulseX and the economy is another thing. I think so.
Yeah, you're right.
Bullish for Richard not streaming. Richard not streaming is extremely bullish to me.
Yeah, especially if you're DCAing in, man. People are fumbling out. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not here to save us. He is not the man that he is not the president of the company. You and me. We are the presidents of this company. We are the CEOs of our own damn portfolio. We are our own damn banks. So if you're looking at one person to stream, to reinstill confidence, then you got to do a double check. Where's yours? Because if you've been in this ecosystem for that long, no, you don't know his game plan. But has he deviated from his message? Not that I'm aware of. And that is something that I could say with good faith that he is consistent with that. And it's not inconsistently saying, well, okay, guys, be careful with this. No, he's saying be careful of these other things because we have set the best of the best up. And going forward, we're going to make sure that we are packed in our ecosystem in a way that is like that wallet is matching. You know, give them a few choices, narrow it down, and then let people choose from there. If he came out and said, guys, this is what I want you to do, this is what I want you to do. Hello, that is like centralization right there. And that is one of, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the new, that was called the 21 Act, that there's language in there is extremely clear with securities and commodities. And so if he is anywhere near the face of streaming, then what does everybody do? Simps, they suck right in. Richard Hart drew people in for many reasons, but one of his biggest draws to bringing people into crypto, into Hex, was a lot of his self-help things. So a lot of this energy is geared towards like, all right, I look at Richard as a mentor, and he's a mentor for my personal growth, my portfolio growth, like those kind of things. You guys get what I'm getting at there. So if he came out, then it looks like Daddy Richard instead of the PulseChain community, the decentralized PulseChain community, instead of him being the face of it. You know what I mean?
And he's not our exit liquidity either.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a force for good, but he is just, okay, wait till he comes in and there's money and then we go. Like, you know, where's the responsibility of the user? It's funny, you can kind of have, I wouldn't quite call it an ego death, but the longer you're in this crypto, it's like, what do I want actually out of it? Like, a lot of people can't define what they want out of it. Like,
well, you know, I've been tuning into Paulie 0x. You know, Paulie, he actually got into Pepe really early. He's got about 200,000 followers.
Sounds familiar. Was he the founder of Pepe on PulseChain? I'm getting the wrong person. He
wasn't, but he was associated with the dudes and promoted it a lot, got it listed on exchanges, and then the guys who made Pepe basically screwed him over and ignored him. So now he's released Pepe on Sol. But what I wanted to say about Paul is I've been tuning into some of his stuff and buying his meme coins, and some of them have just been flops that he's promoted, to be honest. But it was interesting. I was in a spaces with him and a few others, and he said, there's a lot of people that want to kill me, and he's a dude that's made a lot of money from crypto. He was into the punk NFTs when they came big, But this is a common phrase you will hear. And even Andrew Tate, the other day he tweeted out, some of the most powerful people in the world want to kill me. And I would say it's very similar with Richard Hart, because I've seen him go through so much in the time that I have known him to be the founder, and the shit he's copped. And it seems like it's a trend in crypto. If you're rich, you're popular, you seem to become a target. And to be honest, it's not something that I want to do in my life. I don't want to be an influencer if that's what it brings. It's a real turn off.
There's definitely a ceiling to where, like, okay, how famous do you want to be on the internet for crypto? Not really that famous. Like, enough to spread the word, but not enough to get.
I think it's my own shitty marketing while I'm not that popular, but I'm glad at the same time.
It could be your subconscious just being like, okay.
You see people burn out. It's quite sad.
I guess for the token, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like,
totally. It's a self-protection mechanism.
We'll talk about.
I want to be able.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh gosh. Go ahead. No. Go back to that one.
We'll talk about slight controversy, then we'll end on a positive note. So Digital Farmer said Matty pulled out liquidity from his meme. Matty's been pretty upfront that he never guaranteed that he wouldn't take some liquidity, and most founders do. They just don't tell you about it, or it happens in a little bit more of a sneaky way.
You mean rug pull?
He's done it in a staged kind of fashion, but 99% of founders, except for Spooky, are doing that. And when you see that big rug on the chart, it's often either a dev, an inside job, and it comes from within the people that have created it. So that happens 99% of the time. And Matty has done a stream addressing that, and he said that basically you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And he never said that he wouldn't take some of the liquidity at some point. And his coin ran up super fast. So he may have had a predetermined amounts where he took a little bit of liquidity, but that coin ran up so fast that perhaps he had executed his plan in a lot shorter time frame than what he originally thought, because people are jeets in the PulseChain community at the moment.
Why rug your own community? Why do that? It's not respected. I don't think a lot of it. It's not cool.
We don't know what's going to happen in the future, what he'll do with that money.
Doesn't matter what happens in the future, though. It's on principle. It shouldn't be done. And it's what Richard Hart always warned everyone about. It's what everyone in this community was against, scamming, rug pulls and all that, and all our mates on the same level. And now you got people doing this. And it's really, it's something
they're all doing it though, Sammy. Every single one. They're all doing it. They're just doing it in much
they shouldn't.
way.
It's not what Richard Hart. It's not what Richard Hart told us about. He warned us about scams. He warned us about this shit. And these people do.
The only person not doing it is Spooky, and he burns his liquidity. Like Spooky could have been a multi, tens of millions of dollars, but he has burnt millions of dollars. And he's one of the most benevolent meme coin founders, which is why I say the Tangang is like an exception to what I was saying before about memes, in that they don't have those sneaky rugs that are happening with 99% of the other meme coins. But yeah, that's our meme coin drama. So we're going to end on a positive note. And I have got two very positive tweets I want to show from the community ladies. And one of them comes from Khaleesi, who said, PulseChain girls are the best in my humble opinion. Richard Hart is still the goat of crypto. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Can't wait to show you guys my new video. Let's just say it's about 2 weeks away until she gets it done. You know. And enjoy the summer. Please don't get too caught up on the screen. And then she's got this beautiful picture here, and I really enjoyed her post. I really like Khaleesi. And then the other thing that we need to direct people to is Nerd Girl is doing a space with her mate, who is releasing, really excited to share that Sugarheads are launching their new collection on PulseChain. To celebrate, she's giving away a Sugarhead NFT. She's got some rules of the game. Like, retweet, follow the Sugarhead NFT person. put a comment in there. And her space starts in 10 minutes. So I would encourage everybody to go and participate in her space that's coming up. Have you guys heard of these sugarhead people? I don't really know much about it, if I'm honest.
No.
We'll find out, I'm sure. Let's do some closing remarks. Chat, you've been on fire. Thank you so much for your contribution. Sammy, closing remarks. Where can people find you?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Claire. It's good to see you. And Hopeful and Lindsay, always good to see you, ladies. On Twitter, Sammy Chica, Telegram at Sammy Chica. And yeah, hang in there. Hang in there.
Nice. Hot Pro.
Hot Pro on Telegram, Hot Pro on X. I'm a little easier to get a hold of on X. I realized how I have messages on Telegram I haven't responded to. But overall, PulseChain is awesome. It's structurally awesome. The whole ecosystem is awesome. It's made to make a DeFi as easy as possible without being ransacked by a fearsome oligarch. So get yourself some Pulse.
Nice. Thank you so much, Hod Pro. And Lindsay.
That's all right. Speculation aside, we are a stone's throw away from the moon trip to the firmament. I'll put all the rockets in my profile picture. You can follow me on X at ViberLindsay or at ViberFinance. And you can catch me on YouTube at ViberFinance Livestream or Altcoin Chef.
Very nice. Thank you, ladies. I mean, we're on track for my plan for PulseChain. I don't really mind if people cheat and go into memes and stuff, but I would encourage people to lock away their conviction bags when it comes to PulseChain and Hex on PulseChain. And thank you, chat. I've enjoyed this stream very much. Thanks, ladies. Have a good day.
Thanks, chat. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you.